Let's talk prophecy for a minute. I know a lot of people are kind of unsure about it. There's a lot of Christian circles, especially here in the South, that are not familiar with the supernatural, but really it's just Christianity 101. The same ways that we would want deliverance has to come by choice. It's the same as we did when we got saved. It's the same thing of wanting the gifts. If you ask, you shall receive freely. So in my life, there has been a lot of time and travel, prayer and fasting that have gone into some of the prophetic words that I'm just now living out. And that's because they happened 20, 23 years ago. And that's the gestation, that's the natural formula of prophetic words. It's the reason why people poo-poo them, because they don't understand. Well, someone said this and it didn't happen. Okay, well, it takes a lot of time because God wants you to work toward and to consider his leading and trust him to come to pass with that thing that he has spoken over you. So in my life, it was 11 years ago. I was still up north prior to my move down here, and I had been searching for a boutique to open up and live on the top of, which there was many in New Jersey. I went to Cape May and I was scoping out all these places before I moved down to Georgia. Obviously that didn't happen, but it was based off the idea that these prophetic words, 3 people in particular, saw that I would be running a storefront. And I just took that to heart because I really wanted it. But as I've been down here and I've gone to school to get credentialed in IFS therapy and starting private practice, it's, we just put those things on a shelf. It's like, oh, it didn't happen. And it's not that I don't want them to happen, but okay, just figured now's not the time. And that's the beauty of prophetic words, is when it's the time, it's smooth like butter and it just falls into your lap. So I, about 4 years ago, came to an area right outside of Atlanta, and I just started doing some runs, 3 times a week. And I noticed that there was an old house and it was being restored. And I watched it change hands like over years' time, and then opened up this boutique. And of course, after a sweaty run one day, I walk in and I'm like, oh wow, this place is legit. And I fell in love with it. Didn't think anything of it though. This was like earlier in February. And I started having the dreams again. It was like, ooh, it would be nice to get dressed up to go to work. And I just walked away from waitressing, and suddenly that's made time in my schedule to not be under the drudgery of, yes, making a lot of money, but there was no joy in it. And that was an okay trade-off. It was laying that down, knowing I wasn't going to have anything come in to make up for it, except for pursuing my counseling business. And lo and behold, just surfing the net, I tried to put that test to see if that prophetic word could possibly be for now. And they called. After I applied, they said, would you like to come in for an interview? And when I showed up, I told them I've witnessed this whole transaction. I saw it on my runs totally morph into this boutique that is here, and I loved it. And they are also Christians, so they were like, wow, that's not a coincidence. And I'm like, no, that's prophecy. That's the beauty of knowing that we can trust God. He's not going to dangle a carrot and just, leave us hanging. He has intention to be faithful. It takes us to meet him in that. That's hence the relationship that we build to say, okay, I don't know when, but I trust it will happen. And so I just want to encourage you that if you have something that seems to have been put off, just speak it back into existence and say, yeah, I'm ready. Or when is the time for this, Lord? And let him show you and direct you, because there's a fresh air that's on this earth for 2021, so that we can grasp the things that are going to carry us further into the future. And they're going to be with ease. It's not going to be the drudgery of the past that we've known. So be blessed.